Hello guys, welcome back to the video. Just before we continue the video, just before we start writing the functions, the other remaining these two functions, we want to do a very quick something on the error handling function. We want it to be able to, so that when these three input fields are okay, when they are green, that means they are okay, so that this button right here would be enabled. It will be clickable. And also we want that when we input something like this, doesn't show an error, and we take it off, we want the border and also the text error message to disappear. And that's what we will be doing right now. So let's jump back into the coding environment. Okay, first of all, we want to attend to the first issue I mentioned, which is the button, enabling the button when these three items are okay, when they are green. We want this button to be enabled, and how we do that is that we come right here in the first if statement in amount. When it is green, we want to come down and check an if statement that will check the status of the rest of the two input fields. That said, we would get the interest variable. That's the variable that is holding this constant that we declared here, and we did get the element interest, which is the ID for the input interest, and also right here, and also for years, and of course amount. So that's what we will be using to get the state of each input field. So we see interest.style, we will be looking for the style attribute, and in the style attribute we want to check for the border property. We want to check the border color property, so we type in border dash color, and we want to check if the border color includes, so we use a JavaScript method called includes. If it includes the green color, just like we had assigned it right here. So if the interest input field includes green, and we want to also create an end statement, and we'll just copy this and paste it right here. And we'll also check for years, since we are in principle. Check for the duration, rather. We'll call the duration. If the duration input field includes green, then we would want to enable the create loan button, and we do that by saying create loan dot remove attribute. So say remove attribute, and we want to remove the attribute of disabled, and I think that does it. And also we would also want to disable the to set the create loan attribute back to disabled if an error occurred, or if this statement is not so. Therefore we would come down just after the results div, and add a comment, say disable submit button, and we'll paste it in, and then we'll say instead of remove attribute we would add in set attribute, and we would assign disabled back to disabled. That's just how you do it in JavaScript apparently. And that's it for the first case of amount, and you would want to repeat this for the rest of the other three cases of the input field. I'm just gonna fast forward and do that. And save, and we're back. So basically what I'm doing right here, considering the case where we're on the year's duration input field, which is this one, we are looking whether the interest input field, which is this one, and this one, and the principal input field, which is this one, are green. If they are green, we want to enable this button, else if they're not, we want to disable it. And also that's what we're having right here, checking if the principal, this one, and of course the duration, if they are green, we enable the button, and etc. So let's just test it out and see how it's looking. 11 and say 5, and we're having some error. Okay, so we're gonna go to the browser's console. Just tap F12 on your browser's console, will pop up, and we're having errors. Say cannot read property styles, line 40, line 40. And interests. Did I make that mistake in the spelling? Interest. Okay, interest. Also interest, but I spelled that rightly. Let's see. Oh, I think I also made the mistake here. Let's check the spelling back here. I spelled it well right here. That's one thing about coding. You just have to be really careful about the spellings and everything. And we'll save. Let's get rid of this. Let's try that again. 11 and 5. Having another error. And we're supposed to get this. And I'm wondering, you should be asking yourself, why is this guy really messing with me right now? And the reason why this is happening is because we're using a Bootstrap class on the button create loan. So we're just gonna remove that, and what we want to do is use the JavaScript to, of course, disable the button. Immediately the program runs, and we will be doing that right here. So I'll put in a comment, say disable create loan button. I'm gonna get the create loan button and setting an attribute. Set the attribute of disable, and it will be equal to disabled, and save. And as you can see right now, the button is currently disabled. We can't do anything, and we input the first character, is still disabled, second one still disabled, and the last one, as you can see, it's now clickable. You can click it, and if we mistakenly enter in an error, the button gets disabled again, unless any of the input field, every of the input fields are all green, the button will not be enabled. And save. And the next thing we want to do, let's rush up, is the empty. If the div is empty, we want to return the state of the div back to the way it was. So we come right here where we made this if check if the div is empty statement, and what we actually want to do is to remove just one of the equality signs, and that would do the trick. Why we are removing the equality sign is to remove the strict formation of the JavaScript, so that it won't be strictly an empty string. It will only be checking if the value in the input field is empty. I'm not really checking what the type of the input value that is inside the input field. I know I might not be making sense. I'm trying as best as possible to understand myself, but hopefully you get what I'm trying to say. And also we would want to set the error message to be equal to 0. So we do that by saying error message dot inner text as usual. We'll set it to be nothing, not 0 rather. Set it to be nothing, and this would remove the whole error that we might encounter immediately. The input field is empty. So we write in gibberish, and immediately we remove it. Okay, we have to, of course, insert the part of the error message. Have to indicate which index we are dealing with. In this case, we're dealing with the first index, so we say error message equal to 0, and this should do the trick. Save, and let's try that again, and delete. As you can see, immediately you're removing deleting the last one, the input field and everything goes back to the same way. So I'm just going to copy this and paste it on the other cases of the input field. I'll see you. And that's about all we need for the error handler function, input error handler function. Right now we want to start diving into the next function, which of course is the create loan event. Right here we'll just create a div and create the loan, and we'll do that in the next video.